All right, so I hope you enjoyed the first video. Now that you're excited about building something in this ongoing transition of AI, let's tackle the most important question that you're going to face in the course, which is what exactly to build, right? Building something is special only when you're very excited about it, but also you have to ground yourself by having a user. So essentially, you want to build something that people want, right? Now, that person who wants something could be just yourself, right? And that's perfectly fine. In fact, it's a great place to start because you understand your needs more than anybody else. But when you're going out and talking to real users, right, that's when the magic can happen. And that's when you can also think of a class of users who could be potential users of your product. I'm not really an expert on this topic, so I'll keep this short, right? But essentially, there are these four sets, and thanks to this blog, which offered this particular perspective, and there is the least amount of value in trying to do this, right? So if you have no user testing, you are just guessing what are the features that you will be building in this product, then you get the least amount of value. You might be able to ask their opinion. When you're asking somebody of their opinion, you're asking them, okay, if I build this, would you like it? Now, having opinions is great, but it may not actually reflect. They might say that they would like something, and this could be an example would be social media for dogs, right? But they may not actually want it, right? The next actual thing to look at might actually be observing this particular user. When you're able to observe a person for a long time, and ideally this is some time that you set up with this person where they allow you to shadow them, so you can just observe how are they doing things, and in the process, because you are able to see what are the things that AI might be able to do, you're trying to judge, okay, what is the problem that I can solve here. Maybe they are going into different types of Excel sheets to do things, right? Or maybe they are making phone calls to certain people. Today, AI can make phone calls for you. AI can open Excel sheets and read this content for you. It can open the web and do things for you. Right? So just let your canvas be open about this and let there be an observation. But what the most amount of maturity and the most amount of value that you might be able to get is going apart, going further from observation to collect stories. Right, so this might be, for example, I'm in university, so let me take an academic example. I can go to the person who actually manages Office of Academics, right? And they will have stories to tell about what happens during the registration process, how many people come to them, what happens during the grading process, how exactly do they make timetables, what kind of queries do they get from professors, and so on. Right? So these are the type of stories that you want to be able to collect. But again, slight caution here that stories can also sometimes be delusional. So whenever you're asking for stories, ask them for data points that support them. For example, if they say that they're buried in emails because they get a lot of emails about answering this, just ask them how many did they get. Just do a quick search in their inbox, of course, with their permission, right? Uh, but also probably if they say that they have to search for three things in multiple places, then ask them to show you what these places were. So again, we are not building what the users exactly ask in these conversations, because as Ford said, users will always ask for faster horses. They can't really imagine the car, right? But that doesn't mean that you do the car yourself. That means that when you're asking people what do they need and they're saying faster horses, you ask them why do they need faster horses? Because they want to reach their time, reach their destinations in time. They want more control over how do they reach from A to B, right? So we ideally need these instances where the horse is troublesome to identify what pain points to solve first, right? So once again, figure out exactly who faced the problem you're solving and when did they face it, how did they go about it back then, how much time did it take them. When you also understand how excited would they be about solving this particular problem, That is exactly when you will figure out what exactly is the value proposition if you automate the system for them. So if you automate the system for them, the amount of money that they might be willing to pay you will depend on how much time are you saving for them, plus how much value are they contributing in the overall pipeline, right? So keep that in mind when you're deciding your user for the next product. So this was a quick primer, but if you really want to get into detail, I really recommend this YouTube series by Professor Steve Blank on how to talk to customers. They have many nice examples there on customer discovery, how to go about interviewing people, how to not go about interviewing people. So I would really recommend this if you're interested in doing this. And once you have done this, I would recommend that let's do an interesting exercise where you are defining the screens or the MVP that you will go with for the for this user to validate whether the problem that you're solving is being solved correctly using a series of screens. And ideally, you can do this on a paper first. On the paper, try to think what does this user want to see when they first log in. You're making this on paper. These days, you can just take an image, take a snapshot, post this on ChatGPT, and it'll churn out a prototype with you. But in future classes, we will also look at how exactly to go about prototypes and what exactly is a website, right? So I hope you think about this for a user near you. Ideally, this is a person within your organization or you yourself if you think that use case is going to be prominent enough in other archetypes like you. So this is how you can think of the product. This entire field is called product management. I'm not really a product manager, right? But if you're interested in diving deeper into this, you can go very deep into trying to understand how to talk to users. But hope this was still useful. Thank you.